This giant that flies beneath the surface could disappear without a sound. The manta ray is one of the most majestic creatures in the ocean, a living wing moving through blue infinity. And yet, behind its graceful power lies a fragile truth. It is vulnerable, slow to reproduce, and far too often trapped by human fishing gear. Today, we are not just looking at a beautiful animal. We are entering the world of an ocean giant to understand what it truly is, how it lives, and why its survival may now depend on us. The manta ray belongs to the family Mobulidae, the remarkable group that includes manta rays and devil rays. Like sharks, mantas are cartilaginous fish. They do not have bones like mammals or reptiles, but a skeleton made of cartilage, lighter, more flexible, and perfectly adapted for movement through water. Many people speak of the manta as if it were a single species, but in reality, manta rays belong to a broader group closely related to mobulas, with several recognized forms shaped by different habitats, migrations, and ecological pressures. The first thing that strikes you is its wingspan. Some manta rays can stretch up to around 7 meters across, turning their bodies into enormous living wings. But despite this size, the manta is not built like a predator or a weapon. Its body is designed for efficiency, silence, and flow. It glides through the ocean, saves energy, follows currents, and moves with a calm precision that seems almost impossible for an animal of such scale. At the front of its head are two rolled structures often mistaken for horns. They are not weapons. They are cephalic lobes, specialized fins that help guide plankton-rich water into the mouth, working like living funnels. When a manta ray swims, it does not simply move, it flies. Its broad pectoral fins rise and fall in slow, powerful waves, allowing it to accelerate, slow down, turn, and hover with extraordinary control. Watching a manta in the water is like watching a bird master the sky. It seems to command the ocean the way an eagle commands the air. Mantas are often found in places where food concentrates, near coral reefs, reef channels, upwelling zones, coastal passages, and sometimes far offshore. They follow the invisible logic of the sea. Where plankton gathers, the manta appears. The truth often surprises people. The manta is enormous, but it feeds on the smallest life in the ocean. Its diet is based mainly on plankton, microscopic organisms, tiny crustaceans, larvae, and other drifting life forms. It swims with its mouth open, filtering huge volumes of water. This system is astonishingly efficient. The manta transforms clouds of microscopic life into the energy required to power one of the ocean's largest rays. But this also makes it vulnerable. If plankton declines because of pollution, climate change, warming waters, or disruptions in ocean currents, the manta pays the price directly. We often imagine the manta ray alone, drifting like a shadow in the deep blue. But mantas can be social. In certain places, they gather in groups, circling together through plankton-rich waters, feeding in the same marine buffet, or moving as loose cohorts across the ocean. One of the most fascinating moments in their lives happens at cleaning stations. There, small reef fish remove parasites and dead skin from their bodies. The manta slows down, positions itself, and allows the cleaners to work, as if it has made an appointment with the ecosystem itself. It is not just an animal passing through the sea. It is part of a living network. But this is where its vulnerability becomes impossible to ignore. Manta rays have a very slow reproductive strategy, typical of large marine animals. They reach maturity late, their gestation is long, and females usually give birth to only one pup at a time. That pup is born already large and fully formed, ready to swim in the open ocean. But producing only one young means one brutal thing. If adults are lost, the population recovers extremely slowly. Unlike species that release hundreds or thousands of eggs, the manta invests everything into one baby, and into time. The manta ray does not hunt humans. It does not attack us. It does not seek conflict. Yet it keeps falling into our traps. One of the greatest threats is bycatch, accidental capture in fishing nets, lines, and other gear. Because of its size, a manta can become entangled, exhausted, injured, or drown before it has any chance to escape. In some regions, mantas have also been targeted directly, especially for body parts sold in certain markets. Add to this the danger of boat strikes, reef degradation, plastic pollution, chemical contamination, and climate change disrupting plankton zones, and the result is devastating. We can lose an angel of the ocean without even seeing it vanish. The manta ray is not just beautiful. It is an indicator of ocean health. When a marine zone is rich, stable, and alive, mantas may appear. When the balance breaks, they begin to disappear. Their presence tells us that plankton systems, reefs, currents, and food chains are still functioning. Their absence warns us that something deeper is going wrong. Beyond science, the manta carries a powerful symbol, a peaceful giant that depends on one of the smallest worlds on Earth, plankton. It reminds us that strength means nothing without balance. Protecting the manta ray is not about saving a beautiful image for divers, documentaries, or ocean lovers. It is about protecting an entire system: plankton, reefs, currents, marine corridors, coastal ecosystems, and food webs that support countless forms of life. Because if the ocean loses its peaceful giants, it loses more than beauty. It loses stability. And when stability disappears, the consequences do not stay underwater. The manta ray is a masterpiece of evolution, silent, immense, graceful, and fragile. It flies through the ocean like a living shadow of another world. But its future is being written now, through every fishing decision, every protected area, every plastic avoided, every reef preserved, and every voice raised for marine life. To understand the manta is to understand the ocean itself. And to protect the manta is to protect a piece of Earth's living balance.